I had a little bit of a technical problem just a few minutes ago, and so I wanted to make sure that we went live properly. So by no means a authentic Italian recipe. This is a quick and easy recipe for those of you who are in a hurry but want to get your family a great meal on the table. So tonight I'm going to show you how to make RockCrok spaghetti and meatballs. I'm going to be using the 4-quart RockCrok Dutch oven. I actually am going to be using 2 different ones, and I'll explain why in just a few minutes. But this is the 4-quart size here, and you'll be able to see that I've already cooked the spaghetti before we started the video. All I did was just took regular old spaghetti. So take your favorite box of pasta noodles or spaghetti, whatever you want. I just use regular old spaghetti for this. That's a big box, so that's 32 ounces. It's 2 pounds, so I only really needed 1 pound of spaghetti. So I took half the box, I broke the noodles in half, and then I covered it with water and put it in the microwave for 8 minutes. After 8 minutes passed, I just stirred the noodles and then I put it back in for 8 more minutes. So the general rule when cooking pasta in your RockCrok, it's going to be 1 minute per ounce. So 16 ounces of pasta is going to take 16 minutes, and you're going to stir it halfway through. So I went ahead and cooked this, and you can see there's not a lot of liquid in here, but we do want to go ahead and drain off anything that is still in there just so we don't water down our spaghetti. There's really not a lot to drain, but this is our scoop and drain here. So you could either use this and transfer it right into the bowl that you're going to serve it into. I'm going to go ahead and just transfer this into our stainless steel colander, and that way we make sure we get all of the water out. So this is the large scoop and drain. We also have a small one, and I know a lot of you guys here have this. So if you are watching and you have a RockCrok, I want you to comment and tell me what your favorite RockCrok recipe is, because I'm always looking for great new ideas. Now I have this colander sitting in one of our stainless steel bowls, so the liquid is just going to drain off in there. I'm going to set this RockCrok aside, and then I'll set our noodles over here, and then we're going to get the meatballs ready. Now this right here is called an Easy Fit silicone cover. Basically, I'll put it on my stovetop so you can see. It suctions to whatever you put it on. So you can see I can't get this off here. All you have to do to take it off is just peel from any corner. You can put this on top of your RockCroks. You can put this on top of other bowls that are not Pampered Chef. Let me see if I need a couple more hands here. But you can put it on top of your RockCrok, and it just suctions right to it. So I love this. You can use it as a lid, you can use it as a cover, flip it over and use it in the microwave, and you don't have to worry about it suctioning in the microwave. You can also use it as a trivet, which is what I was just doing just a second ago. So that's the smaller size. I do want to go ahead and show you our RockCrok slow cooker, because if you have not used this and not seen it yet, then you definitely want to add this to your kitchen. If you have the 4-quart or 2.5-quart RockCroks already, but you don't have the slow cooker stand, then you definitely want to add this to your kitchen. The stand alone is $60. If you need the RockCrok to go with it, I recommend starting with the 4-quart size, and the set of 2 is $169. So the regular price is $199 if you buy these 2 pieces separate, but if you buy them together, you're going to get a $30 discount. Our slow cooker works like any other crock pot. You have a low, high, and warm function on here. And then the other cool thing is that our RockCroks work everywhere. So you can actually start this on the stovetop, finish it in your slow cooker. It also goes in the microwave, the oven, it goes on a grill or a smoker like a Big Green Egg. My favorite thing is it goes in the dishwasher for easy cleanup. So we're going to make our meatballs in this RockCrok. Now, you could use the other RockCrok that we already used for the noodles, but the reason that I'm not going to do that is the meatballs that I'm using were frozen. They're partially thawed, but I don't want to put anything that is really cold into a crock that's really, really warm, because if I do that, then I could cause temperature shock and damage the stone, or the crock could crack or break. And so you never want to put frozen foods into a warm crock, and we really don't recommend doing very many frozen foods in the RockCrok to begin with. But these are little bite-sized meatballs. So these are the small meatballs, so they're not deep frozen, they're not big pieces, so we're just going to toss this in. This is a big bag, and so you can make a really big batch of spaghetti with this. We're gonna add 2 jars of pasta sauce. I like this brand. This is one that you can get at Aldi. This is the Italian sausage and peppers pasta sauce. So we're gonna get all these other ingredients ready to go in here. If you ever have a hard time opening up a jar lid, you can use this jar opener here. You can see that it has teeth on one side and then there's a little smooth edge on the other side. You just slide this up against the jar and push away, and it releases that vacuum seal. So we're gonna pour 2 jars of pasta sauce in here. And I'll give you guys just a little bit of a closer look. I'll move this over here. And let's see. I'll add the other jar. So 2 jars of pasta sauce if you're using a giant bag of meatballs. We're also gonna add some tomatoes and some onions. So let me switch this around. We're gonna put our cutting mat back over here, and we're gonna start off with our manual food processor. So if you've never seen this one in action, you're gonna love this. This food processor is basically going to chop anything that you need to chop. It will also puree foods. So you can use this for fruits and vegetables, cookies, candies. You can make your salsas, your chip dips, your nut butters, salad dressings, anything that you want to do in here, you can do it. You have a 3-cup capacity container. There's 3 blades on this little post. You're going to set this right inside, put the lid on the top, and then to release that locking lid, you just pull that button forward. This handle pops up just like that, and then you're just going to press. Now, if you're left-handed, you do want to flip this around. Put your right hand here, and your left hand is going to push forward. So most of our products work for both right and lefties, so hopefully that will help some of you guys out. I'm going to take this onion that I've already peeled, and I'm just going to toss the pieces in here. If at any time you guys have questions, please feel free to comment, and I'll get back to you sometime later after the video. Also, I always appreciate it if you would like and share this video on your pages as well. Tag me in your post so that I know that you shared it, and I would really appreciate it. So we've got our onion in here. Pop the handle up, and then you just press down. And you chop this as fine or as coarse as you like. So I love how awesome this does. So let me grab a scraper, because I always forget to grab that. We're gonna scrape the onion right into the same crock that we have the meatballs and our sauce. We're also gonna add some garlic. This is the mini mix-and scraper. So those of you that like our silicone scrapers that have a scoop on the end, you may not know that we carry this one. So we have 3 different sizes. This is the small one, or I'm sorry, the mini one. So it fits perfect in the manual food processor. So we're gonna take a couple of cloves of garlic, because I don't think you can ever have enough garlic when you're making an Italian recipe. So this is our garlic press, and when you open it up, it has a cleaning tool that attaches to the handle. What you're gonna do is you take a clove of garlic. I have not peeled this one yet. You toss it in, take the cleaning tool off, and then just give this a squeeze right over the pot. And so hopefully you guys can see the garlic on here. Then you take your cleaning tool, just scrape this right off, and then the other side looks like a comb. So you're just gonna press that down, and then you can discard your paper skin. So we're gonna do another one. So if you miss it the first time, you just pop the garlic in there, press, and then take your cleaning tool, scrape it off, and then remove that paper skin. So right now we have the large bag of the bite-size meatballs. We have 2 jars of your favorite pasta sauce. I have 1 onion and 2 garlic cloves. We're gonna add some tomatoes. So how many of you have ever had food in your fridge or in your fruit basket, your vegetable basket that's kind of on its last leg, like you need to eat it or it's gonna have to go in the trash? So one of the things that I like to do is when I have leftover grape or cherry tomatoes that really need to be eaten, but maybe aren't as great on a salad as they would be if they were, you know, a little bit fresher, cook them and you'll never notice that they were going to be past their prime. So I'm gonna fill our little closing cut with these tomatoes. I don't think I can fit, oops, all of them on here. So we'll just add those, and then I've got 2 little ones left. So what we're gonna do, excuse me, this has, excuse me, this has a spring-loaded plate, so you can see how this moves, and then there's another spring-loaded plate at the top. What you'll do is you're gonna slide this down. Make sure you press down with the whole palm of your hand and not just on the edge, because if you do just on the edge, then you're not gonna do this properly. So press down with the palm of your hand, pick it up just enough to slide a knife in here. We do sell this as a set, so the close and cut with the chef's knife, and you're just gonna slide back and forth until you hit the little barrier on the other side. And so you can see it cuts all of these tomatoes right in half. So we're gonna toss these tomato halves right into the RockCrok, just like this. And then I've got two little tiny ones left in here. I'm just gonna cut those. Do you know how much longer it would take us if we had to do this with all of those? So you can use that for grapes, you can use it for mozzarella balls, you can also use it for whole chicken breasts if you want to butterfly those, or if you wanted to cut the big chicken breast directly in half, you could do that as well. I'm going to pop this in the microwave, so hang tight. All right, so I've got that in the microwave, and if you're just joining us, we are making our RockCrok spaghetti and meatballs, and you guys are going to love this recipe. You can't have an Italian recipe without cheese, so garlic and cheese are necessities when you're making your Italian food. So we're going to get some cheese shredded up. The spaghetti and meatballs is going to take about 10 to 12 minutes to cook in the microwave. So I'm not sure that you'll still be with me when the microwave goes off, but I'm going to tell you all about what we're going to do at the end. So this right here is the Pampered Chef's microplane fine grater. So you can see that this is a really fine grate. So you can use this for all of your hard cheeses. So Parmesan, Romano, you can even use this for chocolate or chocolate chips. You can use it to grate garlic, ginger, and fresh nutmeg. It adjusts to several different positions. So I usually use it in this position with the food holder that you just slide back up from the bottom. I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. But you can also use it like this. So if you wanted to just grate right over a bowl or a plate, you could do that as well. Press and squeeze, and then it goes all the way closed for easy storage. If you open it up and you want to store it upright in our tool turnabout, it works really well that way too. So I want to try to show you how to use this because this is a product that I get a lot of questions about. So if you see right here, I'm going to put my thumb right in that little groove. So you put your thumb here, and my fingers are right around the handle, okay? So you're gonna press with your thumb while squeezing with your fingers at the same time. So hopefully you guys can see. I'm gonna bring this as close as I can. So can you see how I am pressing and squeezing, and it's moving the blade, okay? Let me hold it like this, and maybe you can see what I'm talking about. See how it's moving there? So this is a great product for all of your hard cheeses. So we're going to grate some fresh Parmesan cheese. Now, if you've ever bought pre-shredded cheese at the grocery store, then you may not know this, but you're getting a very special ingredient that you probably don't want to actually eat. And it is something called cellulose powder, which is a fancy name for ground up wood fibers, which is sawdust. And they put that ingredient in the bag of cheese simply to keep the cheese from sticking together and clumping together. So when you shred your own cheese fresh, so you buy it in a block, shred it yourself. I recommend that you store it in one of our leak-proof containers. I'll show you how to do that in just a second. And I don't know if you see how much cheese we're getting from this little tiny block that I started with. So you're gonna get a lot more cheese than if you buy it in a bag, and then if you buy it in a bag, you're going to get less cheese, but if you buy it in a block and shred it yourself, you're actually going to end up with more cheese. It melts better, it tastes better, and you can store this for weeks, probably months at a time when it comes to Parmesan or Romano cheese. So we're going to shred this, and then I'm going to transfer this to this leak-proof storage container. I'm probably going to have to grab a bigger one out of the cabinet because this is a 1.5 cup container, and it's not going to all fit in there. So let me grab a bigger one. So we're going to use the 3 cup, and this is one of our flexible cutting mats. It actually comes as a set of 3, so you can see the other 2 colors here. They're actually meant to be used one at a time. but when I'm doing my videos, I typically go through several, so I just have them stacked. All right. So you see we got 3 cups of cheese out of those 2 little teeny tiny blocks of Parmesan cheese. Now the reason I recommend that you buy a leak-proof storage container along with your cheese grater is so that you can store the cheese in this container rather than in a Ziploc bag, because if you put it in a bag, it is going to clump and stick together because we're not adding cellulose powder to this cheese like you would get at the grocery store if you bought it already pre-shredded. So we're going to take the lid, which has a silicone seal by the way, press it down on the top, and then you have the locking sides as well. So this will keep anything that you want fresh. It's going to keep it fresh in the fridge. This size is great for your lunchbox. The 1.5 cup is also a really great size for a lunchbox or a cooler. And if you are putting things with liquid in here, they're not going to leak when you put this in a cooler or a lunch bag. These are probably my number 5 favorite product. They're definitely in my top 10. I have a whole cabinet in my kitchen where I just have these all stacked. So you can stack the containers within themselves, and I just store the lids kind of to the side. So in my cabinet, all the containers are stacked, and then I have just the lids kind of leaned up against the edge of the cabinet and stored to the side. So we'll add some Parmesan cheese to that when our pasta is done. So what we have here is our serving bowl. This is our large stoneware serving bowl, and if you've never seen this in person, this bowl is gorgeous. It is such a great size, and you can use this to serve just about anything that you want. You can bake in it because it is a piece of stoneware. It's fully glazed, so you can even put this in the dishwasher for a really easy cleanup at the end. So you can see the bottom of this is glazed and the inside is glazed. So because it does not have any unglazed parts, then it doesn't have to be washed by hand. So you can just throw this right in the dishwasher for really easy cleanup. Typically we use this for a fruit bowl on our countertop. My twins go through tons of fruit, and so we usually have this bowl just stacked full, but it's a really great salad bowl. It's a great bowl for spaghetti. So that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna go ahead and take out the noodles that we have drained. I didn't get very much water, check this out. So that is all the liquid that came out of these noodles. So I cooked the noodles in the RockCrok 1 minute per ounce, and most of the water is absorbed. And I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but you definitely do not want to put the lid on your RockCrok when you're cooking pasta. If you do, then it is going to boil over, so you definitely don't want to put the lid on there. There are a couple of recipes that we have that have pasta in them, but that we use the lid. But if you're cooking pasta alone, you're going to put the pasta in, cover it with water, and then put it in the microwave without the lid. Microwave it 1 minute per ounce. So we've got our spaghetti. So this is a whole pound of spaghetti right here. And these are the chef's tongs. And so these large chef's tongs are awesome because they have silicone coated tips. So you can actually use these indoors and outdoors. You just want to make sure that these do not come in direct contact with the flame if you're using them on a grill outside or maybe on your smoker. They will melt in that case, but they are heat resistant up to, I believe it's about 600 degrees, and you can also put these in the dishwasher. They're gravity controlled, so you can see how they're locked shut right now. These are really, really easy to use. If you've ever had a pair of tongs in your kitchen that would open up when they're stored in a drawer and they fling out and hit you, or if you try to store them in a canister, the ring always falls to the wrong place. So with these, they're gravity controlled, there's no ring and there's no clip. So basically what you're gonna do is you just point them down and squeeze, and they open up. And then when you point them up and squeeze, you see that they lock shut, and there's nothing that you have to do for that. Most of the people that buy these end up coming back and buying a second one because they love them so much. One's always in the dishwasher. So you're definitely gonna love these, and we also have a smaller size. The smaller ones are about this long, from here to here, and they also have the silicone coated tips as well. Now, like I said before, if you have any questions, please comment, and I will be happy to answer those in just a little bit. We have just a few more minutes left on the spaghetti, on the meatballs. When this comes out of the microwave, I'm just gonna pour the meatballs and the sauce right on top of the spaghetti noodles, and you can mix it up if you want, or you can serve it just like that, and then you can add the Parmesan cheese and then leave this on the side for everybody to add as they want. Cheese is one of my favorite ingredients, so I tend to want more cheese than other people on their pasta. So I always like to add a lot when I do that. So I'm gonna go ahead and check on our meatballs. So y'all hang tight just a second. I'm gonna get our, let's see, I'm gonna get our trivet back out here so I don't melt my cutting mats. And I'm gonna use these oven mitts here. So these are our silicone oven mitts. These are really nice because they're actually machine washable, but you can see that they are cloth lined on the inside. So they're really comfortable to use. My husband even uses these, so they're large enough for both men and women to use. Let me grab our spaghetti and meatballs. All right. This smells so good. All right. Zoom in so you guys can see. Can you guys see this? All right, I'm gonna show you a little trick. Let me grab my salad choppers. Remember I added these tomatoes. Well, my husband doesn't like to eat tomatoes, even though they like spaghetti sauce and pasta sauce, and actually both of my twins doesn't really like to eat the tomatoes either. And so I will just chop these up. Since I put them in last, they're right on the top. Chopping a couple meatballs, but that's okay. These salad choppers are double bladed. Dropped one down in there. Double bladed kitchen shears. So you can see here, they lock shut, and then when you're ready to use them, you can open them up, and they're double bladed. So you can slice your meats, you can shred your meats, you can use these for pretty much anything that you need to chop. Of course, all your salad ingredients, because that's what they were made for, but you can use them on many, many other things. So let me give this a quick stir, get all those ingredients mixed together. This actually was in the microwave for 10 minutes. Now the meatballs that I used were fully cooked, so basically the whole idea is that you're just going to have to warm all of this up, and that's why it's so quick and so easy. So the pasta took 16 minutes, and then we used another RockCrok to keep this from having temperature shock. 10 more minutes in this RockCrok for the meatballs and the spaghetti sauce. So what we can do is we can actually use our scoop and drain, which is hard to hide. Let's see, here you go. I was like, how do you lose this big old thing? But you can use this to actually scoop out these big spoonfuls of the meatballs and the sauce, and you can put them right on top of the spaghetti. I love using this because if you don't want to pick up this huge pot and pour it over, you can just scoop this. Now obviously this has holes in it, so then when we're done scooping out all of the meatballs, we can pour the rest of the sauce that's left behind right on the top. So can't wait to hear what you guys think about this recipe. You can add more to this if you want. You can add more onions, more garlic. You can even add some peppers if you want. The spaghetti sauce that I'm using actually has peppers in it, so I just decided not to add any more. And then we'll just pour the rest of our sauce right on the top. And I'll set this aside so you guys can check this out. We'll take these same chef's tongs, and you can just mix this together really quick, really easily. Doesn't this look so good? I will tell you, Christian, he will eat on this for days. He loves spaghetti and meatballs, and we have to take the meatballs out for Connor, but you know, you can't please everybody with the same thing. I know all the moms watching can relate to that. And then you're just going to take some of your Parmesan cheese, sprinkle this around. Doesn't this look so good? I can't wait to eat some of this myself. All right, so this is our RockCrok spaghetti and meatballs. And if you wanted, you could even put this bowl in the oven on warm to keep this warm until you're ready to eat it, if you're not ready to eat right away. Or you could put all of this in the RockCrok and put it on the slow cooker stand. Of course, this goes really well with some garlic bread, which you can bake on any of our stoneware pieces. If you have any questions about anything that I've showed you tonight, please comment, and I will get back to you a little bit later on this evening. And also, like always, please like and share this video. I will post the recipe later on so that you guys can try this in your own kitchen. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight.